Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today to review the season premiere of Saturday Night Live. Now, a few weeks back, they had the weekend update, summer edition, like three of them, and then they said when a few weeks later they're gonna have the season premiere, and they finally had it. Ryan Gosling hosted it, and it seemed like, well, I'll get to that later. If they first started up, I always thought it was the opening sketch or something like that. I guess they call it the cold opening. And that's when the Alex Baldwin came out doing the Donald Trump stuff. And him and that one girl was, they were talking about Puerto Rico and stuff like that. And, they had the supposed governor reporter talk to him, call him up, say they need help. And then even the audience gasped at what, because they kind of really went at him again, Donald Trump again. And Alex Baldwin said that that's what happened when you don't pay your bill. And the audience gasps. You know what I mean? And they had Jeff Sessions on there, which is Kate McKinnon playing him. And then, it was all right. The skit was okay. And these are not political videos. They're political satire type videos, right? And then Ryan Gosling comes down. He talks about it, saving jazz and stuff. And then when he was doing a thing on the piano, which he wasn't playing, he said like different take on New Orleans, and he started laughing. And it seemed like everyone had a case of the giggles this time. That skit wasn't that funny. The part where he breaks character laughing, that always is good. They had a skit after that where they were interviewing three people that are abducted by UFOs, and Kate McKinnon said some language. I didn't know they could say bush and beaver and stuff like that, And then she started, she wanted to show some stuff, so she grabbed Ryan Gosling's ass and stuck her nose in and stuff like that. And you see he had his back there, and he was down there, and you see him laughing. And then he turned around, and he puts his hat down, he's laughing. And the other girl Amy Bryant started laughing a little bit, and then he tried to straighten up. Everyone had the giggles tonight, which is always funny when they laugh at their own jokes. So sometimes it's funny. It usually is. Because usually it's sometimes funnier than the skits on this episode. Because this episode wasn't that great. But a couple of jokes on that. Then he had like something called woke pants, which are like these big giant things with no fashion stuff. They were spoofing that thing about people having their own identity on these commercials and stuff like that, being real obnoxious. And the only thing funny in that was they had the zipper that started in the front, and then they had to roll over and go all the way up the back. That was funny. What was next? Oh, they had the house flippers. I knew exactly where that was going to go. Because they did stuff like that where they did like The Rock and that other guy going back and forth, but I thought that was more funny. Yeah, you kind of knew the humor of that where it was going to go. I think next was Jay-Z, and I hate Jay-Z. What I did now was I took a chance to go out and mail my bills, even though it's like, at the time it was like about 12:15 at night. There's a frost warning of all things out there, because last weekend it was really hot. It was more like summertime, and now a cold front came through, and then we have frost advisory, at least for tonight, with temperatures getting in the 40s and even the 30s. But I went out and mailed my bills because I had to. And it's better to listen to Jay-Z. Even I will say I like what they've done, like making the sets where they perform a little more interesting looking for the performers. Because I remember before, in the great old days of Silent Live, they had like just the one set, and that's all you had. And sometimes you might have a prop, like Frank Zappa had that really cool TV that shot out meat or whatever it was. That was really weird. After that, they had the weekend update, and of course, it was a lot of talking about who, and like I said, these videos aren't political, but I will say one thing that's political. I agree with that one guy that one guy took all those lavish private jets and stuff like that, go to these places, cost the taxpayers like $1 million or something like that. He said that he had resigned, and the guy for Silent Live saying, well, it's good to resign as long as he pays the people back. It pays the money back. Well, I agree with that. he said, go into a store and then you destroy the place. And said, oops, I'm sorry. No, I'll leave. What I did was wrong. I'll leave. Not pay back. And they had a couple things. They're talking about Hostess having what was it, White Fudge Ding Dong, and they said that's what their show's weekend updates call in Japan, which is kind of funny. Not a whole lot of laughs. I mean, just the same old BS. They had a skit where a black and white skit with a guy who was in love with a chicken. That was a weird skit. And then Ryan Gosling started laughing because it got so ridiculous, and the chicken tried to grab the gun, and the glove she had on was messed up. That was kind of fun. And then Keenan Thompson came in, and you hear the gun go off, and goes, oh, why I getting shot? The way he did that was so bad and so cheesy, it was hilarious. That was very funny, very good. Cause I think he was laughing too. He cheesing it up. It was really silly, and then he came back and he started laughing again after he came back from jail. I'm trying to think. I didn't forget anything. They had something about Papyrus, about the lettering from Avatar. That was kind of weird. They even had a big special effect with him hitting a fire hydrant. And it's one of those films that like they used to have in the good old days of Saturday Night Live. Schindler's Reels or something like that. They used to have those old films, which were really usually pretty good. Trying to think. Next, I think they had a thing in the bar. Oh, about the eating pasta at this one restaurant. He said, "Hey, this is actually Pizza Hut," and these two people were really outraged by it. And then Ryan Gosling started laughing again. That was okay. And then they ended with a really silly skit about a band that they called a rock and roll flute and stuff. And it got silly. They were laughing. Everybody was laughing. And Leslie Jones had a pair of. That's the only part she was in, and she had a part of the guy's pants that she was supposed to rip, and she couldn't rip, and she started busting out laughing. That was mainly the funniest part. Oh, and they had Jay-Z sing again, but no one cared. And then usually it ran a little bit over. Usually sometimes the shows will run like 5 minutes over. This one, right at 1 o'clock, like he was shaking hands. He was supposed to say goodnight and stuff. Like he said goodnight a little bit later. And then it cut off right when he was saying goodnight. So then he had the ending credits. The one nice thing is they had, they used to have those old, I love those old things for the Silent Live, the people with different, they were colored different colors and stuff like that. It looked like kind of like a painting. And they had a picture of Hugh Hefner there. I think Hugh Hefner hosts Silent Live. I think it was on a long time ago. And rest in peace, Hugh Hefner, too. So, I mean, all in all, it wasn't. Oh. And then they had, on Weekend Update, they had the guy with a boat. I hate that guy. I hate that character. That character sucks. I forgot to mention that. I hate that character. And that's how they ended the Weekend Update, which is a bad way to end it because that character is awful. And very annoying. Because sometimes you can get. I like the stupid humor, the stupid weird humor is far better than a stupid annoying humor, like the Californians or guy who owns a boat and or Todd making copies. That's so stupid. So I mean, all in all, it wasn't that great of an episode. I would have given it a 3, but since everyone's cracking up, I might give it a 3.5. It wasn't a very good episode of Silent Live, but I don't mind doing the reviews because people like to watch them. So I hope you like this video. I have 2 t-shirts available through Me&B Designs. I'm going to upload this right away. And I'll put the link in the description to Me&B Designs. And until next time, bye please. Take care, my legion. And thank you, Tony Town, for the cool thumbnail.